Hey you, I see you. You're still getting over that thing from a few years ago, that breakup. It's like never stopped controlling everything that you do. No one respects that, mate. No one. Not even you. You don't even respect yourself. I think you maybe need to do something about that. Maybe we need to break this little self-destructive cycle we're on. Maybe. What do you think? I think we need to have a little go at, let me see, what shall we call it? Letting go of the past. Carl Jung, he once said that what you resist not only persists but will grow in size. Your dark emotions and relentless self-criticism, they're just the shadows of your unconscious mind. Instead of resisting, reflect on what triggers these feelings, recognise them, and you start to weaken their hold over you. So what does that mean? Resist. Resistance makes things persist. What does that mean? Now when you're happy, the emotion comes in, it goes out. We don't try and hold on to it. We're just happy, we experience it, we're in the moment. When crappy stuff happens, we resist it. And guess what it does? It holds on and it stays and it locks in and it gets stuck inside us. So what Jung maybe is really talking about there is that when we resist something, it gets stuck. And when it gets stuck, it persists. Now all the good stuff just never really gets stuck. It just flies on through. But this stuff, this icky stuff, this horrible stuff, this stuff that we don't really want to think about, it gets stuck. And then that's all we can think about. And quite a lot of that is based in self-criticism. And that self-criticism is what we refer to as the shadow self. And I think that's what Carl Jung is getting at, is that unconsciously we hold on to this stuff, the shadow self gets a hold of it, it finds the personality of our shadow self, and then we self-sabotage our life, not realising we're being powered by this version of ourself that's unconscious and being powered by this thing that's got stuck in us because we haven't let it go. So we haven't let go of it, it's stuck in us. Then in us resisting it, it actually gets stuck further and then powers our thoughts and actions. So when we recognise that, it starts to weaken. We weaken the power that it has over us. Let's go on to applying paradoxical intention. So Viktor Frankl discovered that by actively seeking to experience the very thing you fear, you can rob it of its irrational power. Instead of avoiding your pain and negative emotions, lean into them. It's like a reverse psychology trick for your mind, shattering those chains of emotional imprisonment. So what Viktor Frankl really means here is that you need to face your fears head on, which is simpler said than done, because facing your fears head on requires you to be a brave mofo, requires you to be braver than what you've been. And this means that it feels like a bloody paradox. And that's why it's called paradoxical intention. That's what Viktor Frankl came up with, paradoxical intention. It means that instead of trying to minimize the thing we're afraid of, or the fear, or the thing that's driving us, or the thing that we don't want to look at because it's just that little bit too scary, I don't want to look at that bit of myself, it's too scary. When we have fear of the fear, it's a spiraling loop that just goes down and down and down. We can't have fear of the fear. We've got to embrace the fear, embrace the uncomfortable nature, not embrace it as in do it more, but as in have overwhelming acceptance of. Now, the way that I view this is to accept something, you have to ask for more of it. And we're not asking for more of the problem, we're asking for more of the feeling. So when we ask for more of the feeling, we say, hey, can we have more of that horrible feeling, please? Ego, psyche, shadow self, give me some of that horrible feeling I didn't really like. But in doing that, we rob it of power. And so it enables that feeling, which was stuck, to move on because we've embraced it, we've accepted it, we've let it go. So that's Viktor Frankl's idea, is to apply paradoxical intention, which is to do that counterintuitive thing and accept and embrace that weird thing. Not to embrace it as in to keep doing it in our lives, but to embrace the negative emotion and that pain that we're avoiding. And that brings us on to embracing Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius would say, you have power over your mind, not outside events. You have power over here, but not out here. And so what he's really saying is, we need to show resilience. We need to show perspective. We need to show self-control, objectivity, and be in the present. Because when we are being resilient by not succumbing to thinking that we have more control than we have, this will give us a better perspective, which will allow us to see things as they really are, which will mean that it's not so hard to have self-control, because half of that self-control is being powered by that shadow self that we're trying to avoid, which will then give us objectivity, and that will allow us to cultivate awareness. And to cultivate awareness as a solution, like a complete solution to this problem. But none of this works unless you have awareness. So there's this guy called Alan Watts, and Alan Watts emphasized that awareness is curative. The moment you start observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment, you initiate healing. Cultivate mindfulness in your daily life. Accept your emotions as they are without getting entangled in them. Observe without judgment. So what it is we observe what's going on without judgment. And that observation makes us aware. Now, we're not observing and then trying to colour it with a filter that protects us. We are observing and seeing things for what they are. Now, what are they? Well, if you can't let go of the past is powering you. And that's due to some icky, horrible, nasty feeling that's got stuck. And to let that feeling drift away, as all feelings generally do, all the healthy ones, you need to let it unstick, and to do that you need to face it head on and stop shying away, stop pretending it's not there, stop saying no, I don't like you. And in fact, you can do this paradoxical technique, which is to face them head on and even sort of power them up. Ask for more of that horrible feeling to accelerate its exit from your body and exit your mind and exit your life. You don't have to be a puppet to your past or an emotional wreck. So it's time to get it done. It's time to take control back. You don't need to practice it, you just need to do it. I can hear a funny noise in my kitchen. See you later.